Peace and love, that's Cheryl. So I am Stevencia, author of the Plant-Based Vegan Cajun Creole Cooking Guide. And tonight we're gonna make some etouffee, okay? Because I had a taste for it. And I also had the ingredients to make it. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I don't want to take up too much of your time because I want you to see how easy this is to make, okay? Now for all of those who do not know, you can find this cookbook or cooking guide. It's a guide because I encourage you to use whatever ingredients you have and to use whatever seasonings you have, okay? Make it your own. Now, this is available on Amazon, right? The name of the book is in the title of this video, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna make the etouffee, and we don't need a lot of ingredients, okay? I'm gonna use what I have because I know I do not have all of the ingredients, okay? So let me show y'all what it looks like when you make a recipe your own. You're encouraged to use your own seasonings, right? You're encouraged to use whatever it is that you have, right? Because at the very end of the day, you are gonna be eating it and maybe your family. So the beautiful thing about my cookbook is that it's great for families, okay? It says designed for everyone to enjoy. Now, the reason why I cook this way, right, is because the Most High used his food to heal me when I was sick. And so I've learned that even though the Bible says what you do not eat doesn't defile you, listen, a lot of us are not at an energetic level. We're not at a high enough level to eat anything and it not affect us emotionally, okay? A lot of people emotionally eat, right? And so this is why we have a hard time with fasting and, detoxing and cleansing and things like that because of the agreements we made with our food through that trapped emotion, okay? And it's okay because everybody have trapped emotions. The thing about it is that we want to make sure that we feel them and then we release them, okay? We feel them and we release them. We feel those emotions and we release them because listen, it's very important for us to go ahead and release the emotions because if not, they just gonna start creating an entire identity with them, okay? And we don't need our negative emotions running the show, right? We don't need our negative emotions calling the shots for us, right? That's how we be missing opportunities because we have these trapped emotions. And I am saying we because I am not, exclusive, right? We are a temple, right? So our bodies was housed to uh our bodies was housed for us to have these energies flowing in and out of us, right? And that's why it always like bother me when a Christian cannot test the spirit by the spirit. Because it's like you're not in tune. You can't even tell like what energy I'm operating in. Right? Even when I'm coming in peace and love and light. And so, yeah. I don't know why am I live. I'm not even supposed to be live, but I'm live. But I thought that it was me recording live and then I don't know, it was gonna post on my scheduled date. I guess it's going to release the live on that date. I don't know, but anyways, we making some Cajun Creole etouffee. We're making a plant-based style. This recipe can be found in my cookbook, okay? It's been available since 2021. It is the very first plant-based cookbook that ever hit the market. Okay. I'm just now doing something with it. Okay. Because I made it, the intention behind me making it was for my daughter to have all of my recipes. So I made these recipes when I was a stay-at-home wife and also mother. So, but what I'm doing now is I am cutting up my red onion. And I am using red onion. I normally use yellow onion, but I just love the benefits of red onion. Uh, it has color to it, so that means that it's going to, you know, it's gonna heal you, right? So if it's purple, let's think about what energy center is purple, right? Our crown is purple. So eating red onion is going to help you with those downloads, okay? It's gonna help you remove the chaos that's going on in your head, all right? Now I'm gonna use this red bell pepper, okay? Red is another color that can be eaten, and we can look to one of our other energy centers that's also red, right? Which is the root. And it's funny because this red bell pepper, y'all, it is all about the root chakra, okay? The root chakra is the foundation, right? It is where we find our identity, right? It is, you know, whether or not if we feel safe in our body or in this world, right? And then you have the purple, right? The crown chakra, right? Which is the very top. Now there's more chakras, but we're just gonna focus on the main seven. That seventh chakra is the crown. So we have our red onion, red that looks purple, okay, for the crown, and then we have our red bell pepper for, you guessed it, the root chakra. The root chakra. And again, the root chakra is very important because, you know, if the root chakra is not in alignment, if it's not spinning, if it's not doing what it's supposed to do, guess what? You are out of alignment with everything else. You are out of alignment with everything else. And so it's very important for us to be able to be mindful, right, of like the energy that we are feeling, right? A lot of times when the so-called negative energies or negative emotions come up, we sweep them under the rug. And we don't realize that our body is the rug, okay? And when we don't feel, when we don't deal, when we don't heal, what happens is that those emotions, like I said earlier, they just start creating an entire identity. And you walk around with imposter syndrome and mistaken identity because you don't know who you are because you haven't sat down long enough with your shadow, right? Your shadow is your most authentic self. It's a little wounded, it's a little hurt, right? It's your inner child, right? That is your most authentic self. It is your subconscious, and that part of ourselves make 95% of our decisions. Okay? And because we were taught to demonize ourselves, right? Because everything is demonic, because we were taught to demonize ourselves, we're scared to sit by ourselves and go within. Yahushua already told us, like, the kingdom of heaven is within. He done said it, Buddha done said it, I think Krishna done, everybody done said that what we are seeking for is within ourselves. And so this is why, you know, like, hey, this new energy that's on the earth, okay, it is all about the millennial reign. What does that mean? Right? A lot of religious people may know what I'm talking about, but it is when the Ruach is when the spirit of the Most High dwells on the land. And in order for you to dwell and be at peace in that, your body, your nervous system, you have to know what peace feels like. But if you've been running away from yourself, then guess what? You don't, it's very hard for you to reach that level of peace because you have to deal with the parts of you are hidden, right? You have to heal with the parts of you that's hidden. There is no way around it. There is no shortcuts. You have to do the work for you if you want to see the change, right? Everything starts with you. Everything starts with you. And so, I mean, again, we just have to get to a point to where that we start taking accountability and having these tough conversations with ourselves. Because if we can't be true to ourselves, how can we expect anybody else to be true to us? Wouldn't that be selfish? Wouldn't that be you expecting something from someone that you're not even giving yourself? So even if they were being true to you, how would you know? Because you're lying to yourself. You know what I mean? So we just got to get real honest with ourselves and know that even the most hideous parts that we believe are hideous are really the most precious and divine parts that, you know, that we could probably ever imagine. But you will not know that unless you tap into that part of who you truly are. And that takes eating the right foods, okay? This is what I say. We eat from nature over here, right? We're plant-based, not because it's trending, we're plant-based because it's the food that the Most High created for us to thrive in or with, right? Because I've eaten everything else. I've been plant-based for the past going on 10 years, but I took a break for 1 year. And in that 1 year, I gained the weight. No, I'm saying a year and a half, I gained the weight. You know, I went back into religion, you know. I started, you know, I started covering up my natural beauty because I was serving a white Messiah, a white God. So I started to look like it. The long weave. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It's real out here. And all I'm saying is that life is a journey, y'all. It's a journey. So just know that if you run across this live or if you found this or what I'm saying uh, beneficial or if it resonates, I guess that's what I'm trying to say, then understand that you are on the same frequency as me. And sometimes we cannot recognize it, right? I soar high, like I'm connected to the Most High. Like I don't need a middleman to intervene on behalf of me, right? Me and the Most High are locked in. And this is why I do what I do because my journey started with food. He healed me through food, or it healed me through food. And so I cook like this and I show y'all how to cook like this so that you can transform into who the Most High called you to be. You cannot operate in purpose, right? You cannot, you know, be purposeful in this earth if you don't know who you are. You're not what religion said you are. You're not what your mom and dad said you are. You're not what your granny and your uncles and your cousins and your aunties and your friends and your teachers and you're not who they say you are. Do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? Because in order for your soul to feel safe and feel at home, you have to treat it with the utmost respect. And that starts with what you are feeding yourself. So everybody want to talk about shadow work. What is shadow work? right? What is shadow work? It is you paying attention to the shadow side of yourself, the side of yourself that's running the show. So I'm gonna let you know, baby, eating like this and cooking your own foods from the earth and being intentional about what you are feeding yourself, that's shadow work. And that's all you need to transform. That and no food at all. Learn how to fast. That's what's going to do it. And a lot of y'all are waiting for y'all breakthrough, and y'all are right there. You're right. I see it. I see it. And I was you maybe a month ago. Like I feel it. I keep getting the messages and the signs that my breakthrough is here. But you're not going to experience the breakthrough until you break through. You have to be the one to do it. But guess what? Fear holds us back. Fear holds us back. This is why fasting is important. This is why even like all of my recipes, all of my cookbooks, my cooking guides, it's Daniel fast friendly. What that means is that it is eating foods from the earth for 21 days and being intentional in those 21 days. Because guess what? When you're done, and sometimes it even happens before 21 days. But when it happens, your entire life will change drastically. But a lot of us don't want change because we're comfortable where we're at. But if you're comfortable, you cannot complain about what's going on in the world. You are allowing it. They're trying to stop you from awakening. You are who they are against. You are the reason why the government is shut down. You are the reason why the SNAP's benefits are being taken away. You are the reason why even all the distractions are in place. They're distracting you from you. Because you've been given the power, the dominion, and the authority as your birthright. But if you don't know who you are, you will never see it. You're going to always feel close to the breakthrough. You're going to always feel close. So you have to do something different. What are you going to do different? This is where you trust your maker. This is where you show the maker that you trust it. Because it's not time for you to be like, oh, I'm ready to be checked out. I'm ready for some aliens to come and lift me up out. I didn't know. Oh, no, honey. That's not how that works. Because you don't leave until your assignment is done. So if that means that you're going to be struggling and living in poverty until you figure it out, then that's just what it's going to be. But you don't get to take the easy way out. When Yahusha left this earth, guess what? He was sacrificed. You have work to do. Now, are you going to align yourself with the work of the Most High, or are you going to align yourself with the work of whatever low vibration decides to use your body for that day? I don't know. I'm just asking, okay? Do not, and I didn't even know I was live, y'all. So I know that the messages that's flowing through me is for whoever's coming in and out these lives. Because it honestly was not going to be all this. It wasn't. I didn't even know I was live. Okay, but anyways, yes. So let me go back to the, boom. This is my cookbook. It's been out for 4 years already. February is going to make 5 years. I'm actually in the stages of revising it. Just adding a little bit more pictures, a little bit more bells and whistles because it kind of looks bland. Give me a second. However, the recipes are not though. Okay? The recipes not bland. The recipes not bland. I'm just gonna add a little bit more lighting. I can't live my life without you here by my side. Can y'all see me better? Let's see, can y'all see this? And that song has been in my spirit, okay? Because I can't live without who? Without the Most High. I can't live without myself. Okay? Okay, boom. So, boom. This is what we're doing here. So, instead of oyster mushrooms, what we have is going to be, these are lion mane. This is lion's mane mushroom. Okay? I've already diced it up. All right. And then I also have, I'm going through the recipes. I have my onion, my bell pepper, my celery, and my green onion. I'm just gonna sit this down here. What else is said I need? I'm going off the book. We need green pepper, we got bread, gluten-free flour. I'm gonna be using oat flour as my gluten-free option or choice. Celery, garlic cloves. I do not have garlic cloves, but I do have garlic powder. I do have garlic powder. And then what else I need? That is literally it. That's literally it. Okay. So these are my ingredients here. I have my mushroom, I have my oat flour, my garlic powder, my celery, bay leaves. I don't have bay leaves, that's fine, it's still gonna work out. It's not the end of the world. So now it says you may use vegetable broth in place of making your own broth, okay? But we're gonna make our own broth, and let me show y'all how I do that. Let's just use these right here, right? And these are vegetables, so I'm gonna use 4. So it says half a large onion chopped, half a green bell pepper, 2 garlic cloves chopped, 1 celery rib. Okay, that's for the broth, but I'm not doing all that. So I'm gonna skip this making the broth part, and I'm gonna use this as the pre-made broth. Now, how you use this is you just add water. That's it.
Don't put your water
So
right now.
I'm gonna use 4 cups. Why I can't put your water right now?
There's a disaster going on inside of that science room.
Get down.
There's a disaster.
So I'm getting water right now.
No!
Right, please chill out, honey. Are you creating?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please don't.
Well, I'm about to be standing for a few more times.
No.
Without you here by my side. Okay. So I have my water and I have my measuring cup here. Let's just use this. I have 2 woks, so I'll use this one for I've been using my woks lately because it's been giving me a lot of space, a lot of room to do what I do in. So we're gonna do 4. Oops. 1, this is again for the broth. You can make it yourself with following the ingredients here on the guide. I'm not doing all of that. So I'm gonna show y'all how easy this guide really is and why you can tell you why this guide is easy and how you can make it your own. Do not have to follow the recipes to a T, okay? So for every cube, you're gonna want a cup of water, and then just let that dissolve. Now, as that is going, we're going to look at the ingredients for the etouffee preparation. It says boiled mushrooms or seafood substitute. 1/4 cup olive oil, heaping 1/4 cup of gluten-free flour. Okay, so basically you want to go ahead and make your mushrooms right now. I'm not going to boil my mushrooms because I'm not using enoki. Now, if I was using enoki mushroom that's found in my cooking guide, then I would boil. But because I'm using lion's mane, we're going to, my aisle here is out, which is so weird to me, but we'll get it fixed soon. Okay, I'm gonna use this aisle. Now no, I'm not gonna use that one. Now I don't know if that's gonna keep that up, but we shall see. Sum it up.
I've already been summing
So
it out.
what did you get?
I don't know.
Okay, then you haven't been summing it out.
I have summed it out.
I just want you to know that you are live, and that's gonna be in the video. So there's that. Let's see if this will all do what I need it to do. Again, we're using lion's mane. I don't know if y'all have ever cooked with lion's mane before, but it has a meaty texture. And I want to say it's because of the water content. Like it holds a lot of water. But I chopped it up already, but they normally come in like clumps like this. Most people use it as like a steak replacement or even like a chicken. When I'm at the kitchen and I'm cooking for the community, I make like jerk chicken, and I have videos on it on my page if y'all want to go check that out. But okay, so as this is going, I'm gonna go ahead and add it. And then you wanna make sure also that you have enough oil. And I don't even wanna add it right now because I'm gonna wait until this gets done. This is my water and my broth cubes. I'm making broth right now. So once my cubes dissolve, the broth is gonna be done. Now, in my cookbook, right, I show you how, to make your own broth. Or if you have some broth in the freezer from another recipe, then use that. Or if you are short on time, if you don't want to buy all of the vegetables to make the broth, then you can use this veggie broth. I got this from HEB. You may not have an HEB because you may have it in Texas. But, okay, so the broth is done. Yay. Now, I can move this. Okay, brothy. And I can put this in. It smells delightful. Okay. So now, or after we cook this here, Etouffee preparation, we need the onions, we have the onions, we have the sea salt, we have the paprika, the thyme, we have the Cajun seasoning. Okay, I'm only gonna need 2 cups of the veggie broth. 1 cup of celery stalk. Okay, so it says pour 8 cups of water into a pot and add all the broth ingredients. Bring to a boil, then simmer until mushrooms or substitute is cooked. While the broth is simmering, create the roux. In a skillet, add 1/4 cup olive oil and let it heat up for about 1 to 2 minutes. So I don't know how to make the roux. I'm gonna show y'all. So it doesn't take long at all for the lion's mane to heat up. This is where you want to go ahead and add your seasonings, or you can add your seasonings long before you put it to the pot. Once it gets browned or blackened, however you want it, then it'll be done. And once y'all try, y'all gonna be like, wow. This does taste like, and I'm like, told you. So I'm gonna use some of this Cajun seasoning. That's it. I'm just gonna use Cajun seasoning. That's gonna give it a little spice, and I'm gonna go ahead and add the garlic powder to this as well. And then I'm gonna add a little bit real salt, pelted salt. So now the thing about the thing about lion's mane mushroom is that it takes on whatever seasoning you use. Now, the thing about lion's mane is that it's also a functional mushroom. What that means is that it helps with nerve health. Nerve health. It helps you with your nerves. And that's important because we talk about trapped emotions a lot in the community, in our community, right? and understanding that trapped emotions affect the nervous system, right? So all of that is connected to the subconscious mind, the inner child, the trapped emotions, all of that is experienced through the nervous system. And this is why a lot of people cannot be, because the trapped emotions is stopping them from being. And then when we eat processed food and junk food and fast food, it doesn't help us at all. It keeps us stuck actually. So when you're eating processed food, that processed food goes to those unprocessed emotions. And this is why you feel heavy. This is why your mind is cloudy. This is why you're bloated, right? You can buy lion's mane from your local Asian market, and you can probably spend about maybe about $9 a pound. But listen, that's not bad considering the benefits you get with it. And then once you're done eating, because you're cooking real food, you're not gonna be as hungry as you would normally be if you were eating junk food. Because junk food, it makes you a plate of, let's just say, fried chicken and mac and cheese and French fries. You eat that, you're going to be hungry again. Why? Because there's no nutrients. There's no nutritional value. What you ate was a whole lot of emotions, negative emotions, that's feeding your trapped emotions. So in order for you to understand like how to return eating the way that the Most High has commanded us to eat, you have to get through the emotions first. You have to get through the emotions first. And once you get through the emotions, then you will be able to have the willpower to be that newer version of you. So now what I'm doing here is I am going to make the roux. So I'm going to use olive oil, maybe like 1/4 cup, because that's what the book says, our good old book. Okay? Now this book was inspired by the Holy Spirit. Can we call it a Bible? Listen, a nutritional guide that's going to help you tap into the Most High. I'm trying to tell you. Okay? So in the good book, we have, this is where we're at. While the broth is simmering, which we already took it off the pot, it says create the roux. That's what we're doing now. And we're using olive oil and oat flour. Oat flour is gluten-free. So if you don't know how to make roux from scratch or gravy from scratch, now you know. And what we want is for this to turn brown. I want it to turn dark brown, like Hershey's, like a chocolate bar. It may not get that brown, that dark, but or maybe it will. Yes, it will. So as this is browning, let's see how dark that is. This is where the actually now we're gonna add per the recipe. We're now going to add oh, it's smoking. It's smoking. Okay, good. Y'all see that? take our broth, 4 cups of it, which is pretty much the one to be, all of this. Now, I recommend you using a whisk because if not, what's gonna happen is that it's going to clump up. And you don't want that. I hope y'all can see what I'm doing. Y'all probably saying, what about the seasonings? What about them? No, I'm just playing. So now that this is gravy, like, y'all see that? Beautiful. Now we can get it darker than this, okay? I made the gumbo recipe out of my, I made the gumbo recipe at the kitchen and everybody fell in love. Was ready to buy it. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is, let's read these instructions, okay? So it says, once the roux is darkened, add onion, bell pepper, celery, and garlic, and mix. Okay, add in the mushroom and seafood substitute. Okay, this is where we're at now. I'm gonna go ahead and add in our substitute, or not even our substitute. This is our lion's mane mushroom. Now, the reason why I say substitute because people like to buy the fake seafood mix that you can find at like the Asian stores that have like different soy-based, like supposed to be shrimp, kind of like this. And I use that for photo shoot purposes. But again, if you have to add that in there, then hey, go ahead, because as you continue to eat from the earth, you continue to eat the foods that the Most High has created, he's going to expand your mind. And it's going to be a lot of things that you're not going to even want no more. And that's where that scripture comes into play at, where it says, it's not what you eat that defiles you. Right? I explained that earlier. Okay. So, for those of you who are just coming in, we are making etouffee. Look at that. It's still thickening up, so don't judge it right now. But while that's going, we're going to make our jasmine rice. Okay? So, we went ahead and added our mushroom. And then it says, stir in your thyme, your Cajun seasoning, and your sea salt. Right? So basically now what you want to do is season it. And I don't know, let me see how it tastes already, because, oh yeah, it's already seasoned. And it's already going to be seasoned because I seasoned the lion's mane, and then we made our broth with seasoning, with vegetable cubes. So, the seasoning is there for sure. Now we're going to make our rice. I want to show y'all this. This is how the lion's mane look. Y'all see that? It is very meaty. And I'm also cooking with olive oil. Do not use soy vegetable oil. I do not use canola oil. I do not use rapeseed oil. None of that. We're gonna use HEB version of jasmine rice. I'm gonna make 2 cups. Do y'all see that? Let me turn it up a little bit more. I might add a little bit more flour, but if you follow the recipe as is in the book, you're not gonna need to do this stuff. So this flour is just going to thicken it up a little bit more for me. You all see what I'm doing? Heaven must have sent you from above. Oh, oh, oh. Heaven must have sent your precious love. I don't know if that's the lyrics, but that's what's in my spirit. And I wanted to play some music, but I didn't have time for me to. That's one thing I miss about TT, is that you can play your music, boy. Maybe the most I said, it seems to me a new song. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Hey, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Hey, feeling good. I'm feeling great. Feeling good. Feeling great. Life is good. Life is great. Huh? I'm making etouffee from my cookbook. Huh? Etouffee. Smothered, it's basically a Cajun gravy that they eat with seafood like shrimp and crawfish. So we make it Torah approved, okay? We make it Torah approved. Now all of the food that I show on my page is in my cookbooks is Torah approved. Okay, meaning the Most High approves this. Because we only seek to please Him. That's it, period. We only seeking to please Him. Y'all see how y'all see that? So we replaced the shrimp with lion's mane, which has a very meaty texture. But we just made this, right? If you want to make it, y'all see how easy it was? Amazon. It's also in my description. This is my cookbook. It's gonna be 5 years old in February. Also, this was the first cookbook of its kind, the very first Cajun Creole cookbook or cooking guide. I'll call it a guide because I want you to use what you have and I want you to make it yours. You know what I mean? But yes, this is what we cooked. We did the etouffee. And I didn't even have all the ingredients, y'all. I used what I had. I had a taste for it, and hey. And now, if you want to add the seafood taste, then you can. Let me show you the trick. Let me show you the trick. If you want the seafood taste, go ahead and add you some nori sheets. Go ahead and add you some nori sheets. Okay, which is what I'm about to do. And I don't even think that's a part of the recipe, but if I was making gumbo, I would definitely add the nori sheets or, yeah. And it's just gonna dissolve, y'all. Seaweed. And if it doesn't dissolve the way you want it to, fish it out. So this is gonna dissolve. Now see how thick that is? So what exactly is etouffee? My daughter, she just asked. So this came out when she was a little bit younger. So how old is she? She's you're going on 8? Yeah, you were 3, 4 years old when this came out. But etouffee, I have the definition here. It's etouffee basically means gravy or smothered. This particular recipe uses a variety of different mushrooms to replace the seafood. Vegan shrimp and sausages can be used. So, and like I said, it's very simple, y'all. And I try to keep it simple because when you gotta get all of those extra ingredients and stuff, you turned off from making the meal. You don't even want to make the meal no more because you gotta get all these different ingredients that you cannot find. My hubby should be home soon. My hubby should be home soon. Okay. And that's a wrap. Like, that's it. I don't even think I was on live for 2 hours. And I'm gonna make some, make some sprouts. Make some Brussels sprouts to go with it. What I was gonna say, oh, before I went over there to get water for the rice, I wanted to share that with a lot of my recipes, okay, you don't need meat replacements. You can really just eat it. Like with this etouffee, I didn't even need to add the mushroom. Like the vegetables would have been enough. So again, it's all about your preference. And then even if you want to add chicken or meat or whatever to it, because that's where you're at, and you have to wean yourself off, that's fine. But listen, your transformation is based on you. It's based on how do you want it? How do you feel? That's what it's based on. It's based on how you want it. Do you feel desperate enough to do what you have to do to see the change, to break through? Because that's what we talked about earlier. We talked about breaking through, and that's where a lot of y'all are at. Y'all are in the in between. You are in the in between. You ain't stranger things.
Literally.
Yep. Excuse me, seasoning. The seasoning. Listen, I see a lot of people talking about, oh, is this gonna make me bloated? Understand why I'll be bloated. Hold on. Heaven must send your precious love. Give me 1 second, y'all. Oh. Fix this. This message is held for review. What's the message? Somebody said Naruto. Ah, y'all are funny. Is that what my handwriting looks like? Is that what it looks like, Naruto?
Duck. It looks like a duck.
No, if you said it look like a duck, that's fine. I could be a quack, 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 quack. Quack, 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 quack.
Duck.
And I could be Naruto too.
Now we
If I'm not mistaken, isn't he in tune with himself? Or was on the journey of becoming?
I know nothing about Naruto.
You don't know, oh, you haven't watched that with that yet? Babe, I know y'all put on Seven Deadly Sins the other day, and I almost pretended that I wasn't asleep. But y'all fall asleep. For those of you who are coming in the room, welcome to the room. We just made some etouffee, right? We used my Cajun Creole cooking guide to achieve this dish. This is 100% plant-based vegan, meaning vegan because in this recipe book, I didn't use alkaline ingredients. So like for my gluten-free flour, instead of using oat flour like I did to make this dish tonight, I used Crusties. I don't recommend you to use Crusties, but if that's all you could afford right now, it's gonna still get the job done, okay? So this is what we made. Y'all see that? Ooh. We made the roux from scratch. Ooh. Now, if you don't know what etouffee is, ooh, it's a Cajun dish. Ooh. Etouffee means smothered or gravy. Okay, that's some comfort food for your soul. And I've been like my nervous system has been in a restful state, okay? Like the Most High have been showing me as a little girl. The Most High has been showing me my relationship with my parents and who I've always been. And so I have just been in a very peaceful, restful state, right? So that I can get in a space of just choosing me and not feeling guilty or shameful or worried about what everybody else thinks because I choose me. Like, what? Now, anyways, I've just been resting and creating, right? I've been going live on YouTube more than I've ever gone live, you know? And I'm just making dinner on live. And again, I'm just being me. I'm doing what I love. Like, I feel rich, right? Despite what's going on in the world, I feel rich. I understand why the Most High says, like, I know who you are. Like, the people who say that they are my people are not. They're not. So we just have to get in a position to where that we know who we are, right? Identity and purpose. And this is why I cook the way that I cook. The Most High used food to pick me up, turn me around. He placed my
feet on the solid ground.
Solid ground.
I think this is
Come on.
I think
Let's go. We thanking the Most High over here, right? And so, I've been great. Chloe just walked in. They have dinner. But I was addicted to sugar, y'all, and addictions run on both sides of my family, right? My mom's side and my dad's side. And I started to emotionally eat, right? I decided to emotionally eat, and I grew a dependency on sugar, okay? And come on, babe.
Uh,
Hey, babe.
and then,
Okay, so I grew a dependency on sugar, and it got to a point to where that my body started speaking. Okay, I had a rash on my skin, and I was showing my husband, and I was like, "Hey, do you see this?" And he's like, "No, I don't see it, but I seen it." Okay, it was very faint, but I seen it. And I did some research, baby. I suck. I searched high and low, trying to figure out like what was this on me. And so come to find out it was candida, right? Which is a yeast overgrowth. And it doesn't help that I'm in Texas. So with the humidity and with, me eating how I was eating, like not eating nourishing foods and things like that, like I was also struggling with depression at the time and anxiety. It was a mess. I was a mess. At least that's what I felt like. And I had to figure out what what's attached to sugar, because it's all, and I always say this: disease starts with trapped emotions. Okay? Disease starts with trapped all disease. So when you go to the doctor and they give you a medication, y'all remember how we used to say stuff like, oh, the doctors, they just gonna mask it, like they're gonna cover it up, they're not gonna get to the root of the problem. Y'all, let me tell you what the root is. The root is the root is the emotion. But if we don't know how to identify what we're feeling, it goes unnoticed. But it still manifests itself. So now we gotta figure out what's this emotional root. What is this thing I've been feeding? So for me, when I was addicted to sugar, I was feeding depression, lack of joy, right? I was feeding um uh like didn't have like love for myself. I lacked self-love. So that's what me being addicted to sugar was screaming out. I needed to love myself. And I didn't know how to do that because I was always taught to, search for that love outside of me. So I went on this entire journey. I went into Buddhism, right? So I went on an entire journey. So let me just go back. When I left Christianity, the Most High introduced me to Hebrew Israelites, okay? Now, I was introduced to a very low level of Hebrew Israelites because I seen that they did not have the spirit of the Most High, and I didn't stay long. I left. Okay, I got what I needed, which was understanding that I am a Israelite and I am, called by the Most High. That's the information that I got from them, and then I kept on journeying, right? Because I always knew the Most High, but because Christianity was deceiving me, it made me question whether or not if I really knew him or not. Okay? And this is where the church hurt came at. So I ended up leaving Christianity. After I left Christianity, I went to Hebrew Israelites. After I left Hebrew Israelites, I went through Egyptology. With Egyptology, that's where I learned about the third eye, and my understanding of that ended up developing across the years. But after Egyptology, did not stay long. I got some information and I did it. Okay. I then went into Buddhism, right? And Buddha taught me how to meditate. Buddha taught me something that Christianity could never. Even though the Bible says to meditate on the word day and night, Buddha taught me how to go within and meditate. That's what Buddha taught me. I left Buddha and I went to Ifa. Okay? Ifa or Santeria taught me that the Most High is in everything. The birds, the bees, the clouds, the chickens, all of it. So my entire journey, what it was doing is that it had been building me up, right? Building my discernment, building my relationship with the Father, right? So I ended up leaving that, creating my own philosophy for life. And then I found myself right back. So I basically took everything and I put it together. And then I went and tried to figure it out. But still, I was suffering with depression. I was suffering with anxiety. It wasn't working. So I went right back to Christianity. I went, I went right back. I went right back to Christianity. I went right back to the vomit. Okay? And I stayed in it for some years. Because the thing about me is that if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it with all of my heart. That's the zeal. Okay? I'm gonna do it in a way that I'm gonna please the most high and not man because I don't care. So I developed in a way that now uh I have a relationship with the most high myself, still in Christianity because I went back. And then the most high showed me about a couple of months ago how I was a wheat and the young lady who I thought was going to be a friend because we had a lot of the same interests, how she was a tear because of her loyalty to Christianity, to a system that opposes the Most High. Now, so I had already left the church, right? So I was already doing my own thing. But still, if a Christian came around or about, like, the little phrases, God is good, and all the things, okay? The Christian culture, like I was for it. And then the Most High had to show me through her how he was completely removing me completely from the systems of the world in its entirety. So, from the education system, the religious system, the political system, the money system, other people's belief systems, like he completely removed me all, and I wanted it. I wanted it, so it happened fast. And so he had to take me all the way back to his truth, right? Because he called me to be an apostle. And I said no, because I wasn't a Christian. So I had to even get understanding of what he was meaning about that. I walk with the Ruach of the Most High. But it happened when I changed my bad, poor habits, when I started loving myself, right? So, with me getting my calling from the Most High Himself and then confirming it the next day was enough for me. So, again, about a month ago, he took me back. He had to show me, like, okay, you are an apostle. If you are an apostle, you need to study the life of Yahusha. Study the life of Yahusha, y'all. I did that. And his mission was all about getting our hard-headed behinds back into covenant with the Father. That's it. He was coming to set the captives free. And in our freedom, we found covenant. Because our hard-headed ancestors wanted what everybody else wanted, just like today. We want Jesus. Because everybody else serving Jesus. We want to celebrate Christmas and we want to depend on the government, right? Which is all one system. Jesus, the government, the presidency, all that's one system. So what happens is that when you depend on a system that goes against the Most High, you're going to fall with that system when he starts swinging them hands. Revelations 18, chapter 4, it says, get out. Get out or share the plagues. What's the plagues? Share the sins. What's the sin? Everybody's dealing with depression. Everybody's dealing with anxiety. Everybody's dealing with mental illness. Everybody is stuck. Everybody's depending on a system that's fallen. So the Most High had to let me know, like, you are my daughter. I chose you. Like you've been doing the work all of these years. I knew you when I placed you in your mother's womb. And if you are watching this recording, that is your truth too. Because we're on the same frequency. He brought you in the room. But you have to get out of these systems. You have to get out of religion. Because of the things that the Most High is telling you to do goes against religion. And that's why you're stuck. Because you are too afraid about what everybody else has to say. Baby, Yahushua was crucified for your freedom. Be free. Be free. Be free. Be free. Because what you scared of? The Most High said, don't be afraid of the person who can kill the body. Be afraid of the person who can kill the body and the spirit. So when he showed me that I was a wheat, okay, and he's already made his decision, because we've already made our decision that we wasn't going to serve anybody outside of ourselves, that we weren't going to have any graven images, that we weren't going to disrespect our parents, that we wasn't going to celebrate these pagan holidays, that we were going to keep his feast days holy, and that we were going to eat according to his dietary laws. Because that we wasn't going to murder, we wasn't going to steal, we wasn't going to compete with our neighbors, because we know him. And that knowing is what's going to get us through for the rest of our lives. So if you are not there yet, the scripture says that every knee will bow and every tongue will confess. Because you have to elevate out of your darkness and into your light. But in order for you to elevate out your darkness, you have to understand it. Because if there is no revelation, there's no getting out. You need revelation and you need education to understand what this thing has been attached to. What is it I've been feeding myself? I don't even recognize myself. My habits has taken, my poor habits has taken over. You need to commit. Are you going to choose you? Because there's no in between. He said you cannot pour that new wine into old wineskin. You should be tired of chasing what other nations have. Baby, you are it. you are it. And then we say stuff like, oh, black people, we're the #1 consumers and everybody's copying off our culture. Please. Please. Because you don't even know who you are. We want to say stuff like, oh, we are indigenous to this earth. We're planetarian beings. We're all the things, but we don't know how to release poor habits. We don't know how to face ourselves when it comes down to the root problems. We don't know how to take accountability. We don't know that change starts with us. But we're on an egotistical trip. And the Bible says that you're going to die just like more regular mortals. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. What is the spirit, baby? The spirit of the Most High. And it wants to express itself through you. But are you letting it? You don't have a job. But you putting in 200 applications a day so you can have some type of false security. Your father owns houses and land. He owns it all. And even for some of y'all to say, oh, this is, we still haven't been given our however many acres in a mule. What? This is the land. This is the land. You should be able to take up space anywhere the Most High sends you. Get out the world. Stop wanting to be like the people in the world. Just stop already. You should be tired. Go study the Old Testament. See how you are repeating the exact same habits as your ancestors. You are hard-headed. You are stiff-necked. And can't nobody tell you nothing. And I'm talking about at the root. Because you can lie all day. You can put on the front all day. But people like me can see straight through you. And that's why we don't like surface. You walking around saying, oh, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. Fake smile, makeup. And you're not. You're not okay. And it's okay to not be okay. The world told you that it's a problem for you to admit how you really feel. You ain't got to admit it to nobody but yourself. Because guess who's listening? Hello.
Can y'all guess?
So, look. The food is done. See if y'all can see that. We have our rice, jasmine rice. Our etouffee. This is what we made. And I'm gonna plate it. I want to get the seaweed. Y'all see that? Just like that. Etouffee without the roaches. Etouffee without the shrimps and the crawfish. Okay, we use lion's mane, and this dish is also Torah approved. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I am Stevencia Harrison, author of The Plant-Based Vegan Cajun Creole Cooking Guide. Until next time, peace.
I'm lit.
Hold on, I'm gonna try it real fast. So after I try, you can turn it off. Ooh, y'all see that?
I might want some.
You might want some. That's all right with me. Say so authentic.
And that is this. And that is this. Right here. This is that. Oh.
Peace, y'all.
No, I wanna
What?
stop, sir.